Gary Von Mabach says times are slim with $. When that change will send you some scratch.
Thank you, Gary. Hello, everyone. I'm Johnny Massacre. Welcome to the Cheeky Live Stream number 155, a place where the brief is quite simply to be excellent to each other. This is my vlog. This is a place where we hang out, make merry, tell each other wild stories of adventure and fun. So I hope you are sitting comfortably and you've got your beverage or food or munchies or snack or coffee or whatever it is that gives you that dopamine boom. No real plan today, although I do have a few things in my browser that we can kind of discuss and have a look at. We could also do a bit of video gaming after this. There's no reason why not. I just hope you are all doing very well on this marvelous Saturday. It is 2:43 in Tokyo, Saturday the 12th of July. Bruh, they got this 500-gram bag of mango at a local supermarket, and my God, is that good. Mango kind of tastes different, right? Some mangoes really taste different to others. You think they're all the same, right? Because they all kind of look similar on the outside, unlike apples that all look different. But my God, some of it tastes different. The one I've got is kind of a richer, almost darker taste. And I swear to God, bro, it tastes like custard. Not having eaten sweets for 3 or 4 months and never eating sweets again. Fruit starts to taste like sweets when you readjust your palate. And my God, this bag of mango, it's like eating custard. I could eat that forever. It's my favorite fruit. It's absolutely amazing. They've got the bag over there. I can show you what it looks like. I see the laughing man in the comments. How you doing, laughing man? You've been missing too many live streams. How dare you? How dare you? Would you consider becoming a Massacre mate, a paid member? It's only $5 a month. You get the 4 emojis. You also get early access to Johnny Massacre's World, the main podcast, before it actually gets uploaded. You also get text to speech. If you do that, we're going to hear what you say, and you're going to appear in this chat box, and you get special members-only streams, and you get the extended gaming streams with an extended intro in the Keystone Kitchen where I cook food. You get a bit of ASMR and an extended outro. How about it, bruv? Become a Massacre mate today. See, Massacre mate extraordinaire Gary Von Mabach and Milky T, the queen of Massacre mates. They're both members. Look, they got the little blue kind of star. 10:30 p.m. for Gary. See, we're locked in. This is a wicked time to stream. This is what I've been aiming for, and this is what I've been going on about recently. I'm going to stop talking about my plans and just deliver. It's 12:25 over here, says Milky. Milky, your brother lent me a book. Do you want to see what your brother lent me? Look what your brother lent me. I've got a mango stain on my jeans. Look what your brother lent me. Oh, lad, I didn't realize it was this big, and he handed it over, and I thought, fuck, am I going to read this? I have to. Look what Milky's brother lent me. Winston S. Churchill. My early life. This is going to be. I just want. Look, it's in such good condition. How does your brother read it without destroying the pages? I'm not surprised your brother left it absolutely mint. Wow, so there's a lot of madness going. I can't. It's quite a big font. I think they buffed it up to make the book look fat. But I'm definitely gonna have to give that a read. So thank you, Milky's brother. Milky's brother. So I don't know, Milky. If I come to the States, can I stay at your house? Can I stay at your house? Can I stay at a cabin? Can I stay somewhere? I want to stay, mama. I wants to stay.
Milkitia makes things says you only open it halfway.
What do you mean? Mate, this is the bag of mango that's kind of, look at this. It's changing my life. It's so, damn, this is so tasty. 500 grams. It's only 300 calories. Just all of that. This to me is such a dangerous treat. That's how much I've reset my view on food. This is as luxurious. I mean, there's nothing better than this.
Makes things says yeah, it's a Garbo house, but you're welcome.
Where is that? tonight we attempt to solve once again the mystery of the cross. Are we going to solve the mystery of the cross? Hope so. We're going to have to try. Mate, this is the most I've ever been scammed with this cross. This cost, I just needed a cross in my room and it just caught my eye. A Mexican cross from a Mexican store. I thought it was a Mexican store with Japanese flavor. But some Californian told me, nah, that Mexican store is like all Mexican stores in Cali. This cheap POS, it's made of cheap wood, some paint on it. It's like, I don't know, it's not even on the front. I don't know what this is, but this is, he just got from somewhere else. It's a piece of Akira, and he's just super glued it on. Look how wonky. He couldn't even get the heart straight, a bit of super glue. I could have made that for £5. I feel like I'm going to start doing woodwork. It can't be that hard to make something like this. The thing is with the painting, it's a mess. It smells, especially in a small Japanese apartment. It's going to be a little bit weird to do. And like, essentially you're paying for that because you don't want to paint it. But fuck, man. What, 60, 70 bucks, 75 bucks for this POS? I can't believe I spent that. Apparently it's like a real Mexican man in Mexico who sends it over. May that guy lucked out to this Japanese store. You really get, you don't get stuff like this. I think that Californian was chatting nonsense. You don't get stuff like, I've never seen anything like this before. I feel this is adapted for the Japanese market. Right? Milky could have made this. Milky could have made it. But I need a cross. The thing, like, there's maximum stuff. There's maximum. All the real estate in my apartment has been taken up by stuff. And there's actually no more space for anything. And I can't even really put it on the wall. It doesn't actually look good from far away. Maybe it needs to go, like, in the middle of that sun.
Milkitia Makes Ting says, I'm married to a real Mexican, so it's the same thing, lol.
This is the same as what you get in the States. Exactly the same. I mean, it does look quite dope, the design, but up close, it's a piece of... If he actually made this piece of crappy thin metal here, but somehow textured it and painted it, then I can see the value in it. But he did such a shitty job with the other parts. Like, look, couldn't even get that circle in the middle. It's like he just did it. He didn't even measure it. That tells me he didn't. There's no way that he painted that if you can't even get that circle in the right place, right? There's no way. I don't know. It does look kind of cool though. I need a really gothic, like Catholic one, right, to put somewhere. I don't know. I just want to look like I'm in a Castlevania game. The Mystery of the Cross. Whole lot of. Also got this from there. You might have seen wearing that. I think it's really cool, that hanging off. The thing is, it's a POS as well, so the metal already is turning to copper. Like, can't you do a stainless steel one? Little hearts with Jesus in it. It's kind of, I like the way it has the beads and that. What even is this? It's a rosary, but the way it hangs off is quite cool.
Milkitia Makes Ting says, actually IDK if I would make one because I'm turned off of crosses now. Stuff made in Mexico is the same as made in China.
Racist, Milky, racist. It's quite cool though. It's quite cool. It is quite cool. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I tried to deliver that news article today, but it's just, there's always too many details to the story. And I got the main headline, and then when you go into it, it's kind of hard to develop the story while you're reading it live if you haven't practiced it a million times over. How did I do? I don't know. It just feels like it wasn't worth it. But I feel like I wanted to do something, and that was kind of interesting news. But,
Brad W says, yo.
What's up, Brad? So yeah, someone sent me a message and said, yeah, you're shadow banned, you start a new channel. And then I showed it to AI, but AI just goes with whatever you say in the prompt, and it goes, yeah, you should, it's shadow banned. But
Makes Ting says you would need a gothic cross and a metal whip for that Castlevania vibe.
The thing, like, I did the vintage Massacre movie review yesterday of Superman, and if it was shared by the algorithm, it would blow up. But I don't know. The channel's such a mess with so much stuff over the years, and it doesn't get like a lot of views, so it doesn't ping the algorithm. It only got like 120 views. It just won't show it to anyone. And AI said you should do it live, but live gets less views, so you should upload it as a video. But if I do that, it gets even less. The algo likes it because there's you lot, the core fans, so it will get 30, 40, 50 views quickly, and then that will keep it going to over 100. So I think keeping it live is best for now. Didn't really get that many views, but I uploaded it on a side channel, and that channel, if it's a pinging algo friendly thing, it will get the same as the main channel, even though it has like 50 subs compared to 13,000, which says a lot. But I still feel, you know, if it's a shadow ban, then it will blow up somewhere, but it doesn't blow up anywhere really. So it's the chicken and the egg. You need to release the video and make it a good video to get the subs, but you need the subs to get the views. So it's like, where do you fucking start? So I don't know, part of me feels like, okay, do it on a side channel, but then the other part of me feels like, well, if it's not blowing up anywhere, it's not necessarily a shadow ban on the main. Just need some consistency and need to hit some wicked topics. But then if the channel does have a load of random stuff, people want to keep coming back for the same thing, so it should be very targeted. When my video game channel, I got 1 million views on that one video on Stellar Blade, and then it was pinging, and like it was, even the live streams were getting quite a lot of views, and the big videos with 1 million views or hundreds of thousands, I'd redirect it to the things that I really wanted to be known for, that I enjoy live streaming, and then you'd siphon off extra views there. Got demonetized a few times because the content was too sexy, and then after that, now that even the main video with 1 million views, you can't even find it if you search for it. I don't know if they updated something to suppress like quasi sexy Stellar Blade stuff or whatever, but the point is, on the side channel it was clear content. It was like kind of sexy gaming stuff. This channel is just kind of all over the place, and like that's fine if you're a Hassan Piker or someone like that, where they kind of graduate from gaming into just their personality. But if you don't have that core, there's that core solid viewer base of thousands of people, just having it a little bit vloggy as the main thing, it just like, what's the point? It's a bit like pissing in the wind. So I don't really know, but I spent a long time remonetizing, and now I've spent a long time strategizing about what to do, and this is part of the strategy. It's like Saturday, Sunday, Tokyo time. Aim to do it 1 p.m. Try to do it at the same time every week to give people muscle memory, and see where it goes from there, and just keep the output and don't get disheartened. But I'm not really 100% sure how to play it, to be honest. Milky says you need them shorts. Yeah, I just decided 3 last night, but they did okay. Yeah, I see what you mean, Milky, to like bring it over. What's up, Edward Johnstone? Bruv. Edward, there's an emoji. You've got a special emoji. You're missing out, bruv. How you doing, Ed? Ed was back after a hiatus. Edward, look. Why didn't you use the emoji, Edward? Why didn't you use it? Why didn't you use it? Oh, Lord. So, yeah. Went to Mount Doom last Sunday. Completed my 3-hour run. No running this week. Just going to do none at all. Going to be sensible. Six-pack is like kind of disappearing a little bit, but not really that much, but still a little bit. And AI tells me it's just glycogen and water bloat, but that's okay. Need to get the carbs back in the system, because even eating loads every day, it feels like you're always slipping back to wanting to faint. So this week doing that. Next week still quite a lot of carbs, but just do more training in the gym and just use those carbs with some anaerobic training. And then the week after that, kind of going to start not cutting necessarily, but keep it tight. Of course, the hashtags. So what did you think of my Superman review? That's worth 100,000 views.
I can't even see the emoji.
It's because you're not an official paid member, Edward. That's why you got to become a MassacreMate. I am going to take away the text-to-speech to non-members sooner rather than later. Oh, look, Milky, 4 bravo emojis. Whole lot of mercy. Whole lot. So there's a few other things that's kind of in the news or whatever. There's a few other things. I don't know, like X is so depressing. So I don't know how much of it I'm going to cover. Yeah, not really. Nah, I'm not going to do any of this. Oh, shit. I missed that one. So, Akira. Bruv, there was a game that didn't come out for the Mega Drive of Akira. Fuck, we just lost that. Maybe, there it is. Check, like, did you ever know about this?
Video Makes Ting says, I think you gave Superman's parents a harsh time. I loved them lol.
Bro, they definitely were hating on them for being southern, like from the south. 100%. Because the mother had to put her nose onto the phone that was lying flat on the table because she thought that was the only way to speak to her son via a phone. Come on, people from the south, they're not that backwards. Jesus Christ. Did anyone know about this? Akira, the anime, had a Mega Drive game coming out for it that never came out. Has anyone ever seen this? And the music's kind of good. And look at that, that's so faithful. And the drums is faithful. Not sure about this part, but this looks a bit annoying. Yeah, but the music. Yeah, it looks like there's too many different types of gameplay, too many ideas. So yeah, this probably was terrible. Canada. I mean, has anyone ever seen that? Mate, if you want to know part of the reason why I lost that as well, these old animes are so good. People don't really think about this. They know they're hand drawn, but if you actually see how they were made, the classic ones, it makes you realize why they were so good. I lost this. So look at this, dude. This is when they made the original Akira, right? You wonder why old school anime and cartoons are so good, because it's a real human with a real paintbrush making something real and tangible. It's actually there. Your brain knows it. It can feel the soul in every brushstroke. Compare that to now with anime and cartoons made on computers. How much are you losing? How much soul are you? Look at this. Look what they did with the original Akira.
Each of these dots represents a lighted office window at night. Here they are painting the windows in the building.
Unbelievable.
Carefully done, as was the lettering.
Amazing. Look at this. Every freaking frame had this much work in it.
Even the commercials appearing on the TV monitors were precisely drawn. What a job. It requires a great deal of precision and fine work to express the vastness of the city.
And isn't it crazy? You've got a bunch of different artists who are all using the same aesthetic and vision, and it all looks consistent. It's absolutely insane.
She is working on the mechanics. She's adding some
Bro, golden times in Japan. Look at the fashion. Look what they're wearing.
color to one of the helicopters. Each part contains all the details of the real thing.
So cool.
Just take a look at all the different colors.
Rav.
Altogether, there were 327 distinct colors used in this production. It was quite a challenge, especially in animation.
This is
But it was
insane.
necessary to create the effect of a real city.
Do you think when they did the, what's he called, Tetsudo? Is it Tetsudo? When he turns into the blob thing, do you think all the hired illustrators are thinking, what the hell am I drawing? Or do you think they're all in on it and that it's totally normal to these nutters?
This is how the colors are coordinated.
Bruv, look how cool this is. Look what went into this. Why don't they just do this again? I don't get it, man. This would be such a great sales pitch. An anime epic, all drawn by hand with paints like the original Akira. Just give them what they want. Doesn't matter what the budget is. Just give them what they want, like the old school way. I mean, fuck, who wouldn't want to pay to see that? The amount of effort that's gone into that. It's like when you eat a Michelin star meal. Okay, it tastes good in the same way that kind of elite anime looks good, and you know you're getting value because the people who composed what you're consuming spent thousands of freaking hours doing it. I just take my money. Wouldn't you want to pay for that, or is that too niche?
Take a look at the finished product.
It's amazing.
Doesn't it look real?
Look at this. These people are mental.
Asahi Productions in Tokyo. The highest
We've just become retarded, Ray. Everything's done for us now.
photographic techniques were used in transferring the drawings to film.
Look at this. Bro, I want more of this. Give me some more of this. So, I don't know what era this is from. It's either 80s or 90s, but this is my favorite. Like, I like the way they drew the women. I like the way look at it. It just looks so attractive, everything. Look at it. Everything looks great from this random anime online. Golden Boy, 6th over. Okay, of course the name is ridiculous. But, again, this is all hand drawn. So now you can see why it's so... It just sucks you in. Look at it. Look at it. Mate, we've lost a lot. So, Mark, how you doing, mate? The Akira game is obviously from the 90s because Mega Drive came out in 1989. Akira was, what, like 80s? Became kind of popular in the West, like early 90s, around 90. So it's the first anime we were introduced to, and it was messed up. It was kind of cool, though. It was kind of cool. So I thought that was quite cool. Whole lot of mercy. So, what are you lot doing today? Tell me. What are you lot doing tonight? Late night crew? We lost so much soul. Exactly, Milkster. Exactly.
Milkitio Makes Ting says the mum yelling into the phone was so real though. Milkitio Makes Ting says, Johnny, I just moved here. Some of the people here are intelligent in different ways. Arthur Shaw says,
oh.
Hey everyone.
Arthur.
Mark Hatfield says, howdy Johnny, how old is this game? Milkitio Makes Ting says, oh, if I could animate it like this I would. Milkitio Makes Ting says, I don't have the 10 years of time that it takes one person to do a movie on their own. Milkitio Makes Ting says, if I could go back in time this is what I'd do. Milkitio Makes Ting says, why can't they just do this again? You're so lovely, Johnny. Mark Hatfield says,
what?
Impressed. Edward Johnston says, is gaming happening tonight? Milkitio
I'm lovely.
says, it's so much easier to do this digitally, but we lost so much soul. Brad W says, I hope none of those artists are poor.
Why is that idealistic and wistful and cute and lovely? If I want, why can't they just do it again? Why not? Just fucking, bro, mate. Mate, if, like, someone needs to give me $300 million to just invest in like 3 or 4 ridiculously sick creative projects, and I will fucking quadruple your money. One of them will be, okay, Otomo, the guy who did Akira, bring him back and we'll make a new anime in exactly the way they made it before, all fucking hand painted.
Milkitio Makes Ting says all of their artists are poor, it pays less than minimum wage.
Whatever it takes to make it happen, we'll be fair. We'll make his magnum opus. We're going to brand it and say that, okay, the Japanese masters, they follow the principle of shugyo. Shugyo means practice and refinement. In the spirit of the greatest Japanese artist of all time, Hokusai, who did his best work in his 80s and never stopped, we'll take the guy who made the iconic Akira, who now Hollywood and Netflix are plundering because they can't get any ideas as good as that. We'll make his magnum opus later in his life, and it will be a throwback to these better days that Generation Z desperately wants, as proved by the fact they're obsessed with like Polaroids and shit like that and analog tech. With current digital technology, we'll track all the statistics and data for the press releases about artists and grammage of paint used and how many fucking windows they painted on the skyscraper. We'll make it better than Akira. We'll show now that even with all this tech and know-how, we can go back to the old ways and improve upon it. And it will be basically man versus machine. It will be like old versus new, but we're going to show the value of the old authentic stuff. which is the main gold mine and creative source for all the shit today you get in the form of these endless sequels. Let's fucking do that, bro. Let's invest in that. I don't know how it's going to cost. 150 mil? 100 mil?
Says, do we lose the ads if we become members?
You don't lose the ads if you become a member, but this is basically what you get if you become a member. So there's some Easter egg members only streams, like hardly anyone gets in. And that is no ads, basically. We just hang out. That's just me editing stuff. When I do the podcast, it's going to go private afterwards, and it will be members only, and it will be released later on as a video. So that is only for you get early access 12 hours to the main stuff, but that's basically locking off content, so you can't have it. But you also keep text to speech, and you get the emojis. But the thing, no, it all makes sense because, like, there's also the gaming streams. There's a preamble before and there's an outro. The preamble might also include Massacre's, like, KeystoneKitchen eating stuff, a bit of ASMR. On the gaming channel, that's edited off. You just get the gaming straight in, but the main channel you get before and after. So there is extra content basically, and you get the emojis. But the way it's probably going to be is like the live stream. Everyone can see that, and then that immediately goes private, and then only Massacre members can get that. You get it 12 hours for everybody else. So that's good. That's good. And you also get the satisfaction of knowing that you're motivating me to make more videos. Basically. If you go top tier, then I read your name out on the outro. If you go super top tier, you get the name right out at the beginning, which is insane. At some point, someone's going to do that, and it's going to be so weird. I'm Johnny Massacre, and welcome to my world. May your stay here be interesting. Shout out. Massacre Mate Extraordinaire, Edward Johnstone. Tonight, blah, 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 blah. That's going to be weird. I don't know how I'm going to incorporate that, but we will try. Yeah, Milky T gets the duck station. She gets the duck station. Oh my God. Okay, you want some nostalgia? Look at this, y'all.
Milkitio Makes Ting says, I would recommend looking up Ralph Balshi talking about making Mighty Mouse. It really emphasizes the struggle of being an animator. Gary Von Mabach says, if I had that kind of my money, I would invest in your idea. Sounds awesome. Brad W.
Thank you, Gary.
Donated $4.99 and says thank you for your donation.
Brad is like carrying the channel. He's donated like $100 probably this month.
Says Bakshi.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that idea will absolutely tear it up. It will absolutely shred it to pieces. And the animation will just look so good, and it will stand out so much among all this soulless animation and computer generated stuff. It will just sell itself.
Bakshi and his crazy Lord of the Rings.
So, yeah, I mean, we could Lord of the Rings. We could do Silmarillion, and we'll get Martin to do this to write the lore. We'll get Christopher Nolan to no, it's not fucking get him to do it. You've seen what he's doing to Odysseus. We'll just get Otomo to do Silmarillion. So it'll be a Japanese anime of a Lord of the Rings sequel with lore that's already there and fleshed out by Martin. And we know that works because he was involved in the Japanese intellectual property Elden Ring, that's like the biggest video game of all time, nearly, definitely top 10. So yeah, okay. Otomo, Akira's animator, doing Silmarillion, lore kind of penned in by Martin, all handmade. And we'll make it adjusted for inflation a higher budget than Akira received.
Says no Silmarillion will be ruined. Leave it alone, haha.
I think Otomo and Silmarillion, I don't see how that can fail really if Martin's kind of tying it all together. Let me oversee it. It will be okay. It would just be Lord of the Rings, but more batshit crazy fantasy stuff with less grounding in reality and more crazy spells and monsters and stuff. Because like the Silmarillion, I don't know. It's weird, right? I don't know. Hear me out here. So you know some of these TikTok loops that are really successful. It's ones that the brain is anticipating a resolution, but it never gets it. So I remember not dating, but kind of getting a few Dutch rudders from this extremely mentally ill, like famous girl on TikTok. And her most famous TikTok video, she said, were where she was teeing up to do the golf shot, but it never came. So you just watch the loop endlessly. And in the same way, I felt like Lord of the Rings, your brain wanted these resolutions and wanted to see certain things, but you never quite got it. Like, you were teased with this Gandalf is a wizard, so he's got these mad powers, and you were waiting for him to like bring down an ethereal hammer, or like bring lightning from the sky, or fly. But that's what the brain was expecting, but it never quite happened. You never got the satisfying resolution of Golf Swing of actually seeing Gandalf execute. Like, he'd turn up late, or do you know what I mean? Turn up late to the party, or something would happen off screen, or it was alluded to, but you never got to see it. So I feel like if you did a Silmarillion when the powers were mad, that would give you that satisfaction, albeit ironically it might not be as popular because you get the resolution. But I feel like leading on from the previous Lord of the Rings, it's going to be satisfying. People will be drawn to it for those reasons. And then you actually get to see all this crazy stuff. Like in the original ones, it says something like there's a spider, it's fucking massive. It's Shelob's like its child, its son Shelob is a massive spider, and it just like sucked out the power from the trees that gave life to the world, and it fucking flew on this mist and clouds and shit. Like, that never happened. I'd love to see that. And there was proper demons, there was Balrogs everywhere. The Lord of the Rings had one fucking Balrog, and it was a holdover from the old era. This is Balrogs for days, bruv. They're fucking everywhere. And there's other things, just put it all in there, bruv. Ottoman to direct it, make it an anime. Martin to kind of shore it up, but keep Martin in check, because he disrespected Lord of the Rings a bit. Keep him in check. You just let me fucking read it, basically. Look, Martin, none of this talking shit on Tolkien. You keep it OG. You keep it OG. You just sew it all together and make it work. All right? Let me see what you're doing. I'll make sure you don't go off track. We're gonna make fucking millions, bro. That's wrong, Milky. Gandalf is not a golem. He's not a golem. I haven't read Silmarillion. I know I read Lord of the Rings years ago and I didn't like it. It was just it was too much. And I know it's his magnum opus, but Hobbit is just, it's so perfect. It's simple, and because he wrote it for kids, it stopped him going up his you know, in order to just keep it easily comprehensible for the audience, and I felt that made it even better. But I have to go, I was a bit immature when I read Lord of the Rings, but there's no way I'm ever going to super like Lord of the Rings. I remember the chapter on Tom Bombadil and just thinking, Tolkien, what the fuck are you talking about, bruv? Who is Tom Bombadil? Isn't he a jester, but it's basically God? What the fuck is Tom Bombadil? That was weird. And I get this, I mean, the movies are pretty faithful to the book. Again, you're waiting for this big payoff with Gandalf where he just like rips off his shirt and he brings down lightning and like summons demons and like all kinds of crazy shit. It never fucking happens. Like, he'd always disappear at the last moment, or like he'll appear late and doesn't. Do you know what I'm saying? I want something in there like he pulled out his big clonker and he started smashing like big firing clonker. Where is that? Where is that? Speaking of clonkers, there's always a few things in movie reviews I forget to mention. Yesterday I forgot to mention only 2 things. It's an improvement over what I usually do. Usually have 4 or 5 things. I think, man, I wish I had said that. It's pretty good going considering I barely had any notes. One of which was at the end of Superman, there's the pocket dimensions split, making this ravine that's revealing a black hole that's sucking everything into it. It kind of breaks out of the pocket dimension and starts sucking in the world, and then they just stop it because the guy typed something into a computer. That was so fucking stupid. I forgot to mention that. But just, I don't, you know, that just shows you how forgettable the film is and how nothing has any stakes at all. The other thing I forgot to mention is there are 3 clonkers in the Superman movie, one of which I forgot what it was, but I can't remember. It was, and they all were bigger. One was bigger than the other. So one clonker, I'm guessing it was just, I don't know, they're having a fight and he picks up a clonker. The other one, I think the Green Lantern, he can make these big things appear, and he makes a huge clonker. Like, I can't remember what the fuck it is. There's one point where there's a massive, I think he makes a big clonker. And then there's another character I don't know what the fuck it is, but he actually makes this huge fucking clonking hammer thing. I loved it. There are clonkers in Superman.
The reader.
I guess so. Tolkien. Yeah, what were the clonkers in Superman?
You made me watch that movie, and I was angry all day today at the 2 movies that should have been made instead. Lol.
How on point was my review? It was fucking on point, right? Like did you find the story in the film, Milky? Because I genuinely was asking yesterday for someone to tell me what the story is, for the plot is for Superman. There isn't one, right? There basically isn't. There isn't. I'm trying to work it out. Like it doesn't make. Yeah, there is no plot. Lex, I forgot to mention as well at the end, Lex Luthor says, I didn't. So there's 2 twists. It's Lex Luthor started the war between Baravia and Jarupar. And then the other twist again is, the next twist is, he did that in order to, he wants to build his army and make this new fucking utopia or some shit like that. Then at the end, he reveals, no, I started the war to kill Superman. And I can't remember the reasoning for that. Something like to justify killing Superman, because if Superman was involved, because Superman got involved with regime change and stopped the war and things. So if Superman was involved and everyone hates him, it would justify him being killed. Some shit like that. But the dog came into it. I timed it. It was an hour into the movie. Okay, his dog's been kidnapped. That's not how you set up a story an hour into a film. And then he finds the dog after about 20, 30 minutes anyways.
Says, would Superman been better as a musical?
I mean, maybe. What were the tunes in the Art Deco period? I felt like they should have gone harder with the Art Deco. Yeah, Art Deco musical would probably have been better, I think. So right, you want some nostalgia, video gamers. Look at this, all of the console generations. So I don't know what the hell this is. Magnavox Odyssey and Pong. Whole lot of mercy. Pong, look at that. Generation 2, Magnavox Odyssey 2. What is that? Atari 2600. This must have been terrible. This must have been E.T., right? In television. Telstar. What the hell's that? Generation 3, Atari 5200. NES. This is where shit gets real. NES and Master System. Dude, they've had a fresh Master System in Super Potato in Akihabara for months.
From Guardians 2 and failed.
Just like any of that, put some music over. Let's try to be like Tarantino and make this. You know, when the music comes on, when Mr. Incredible, whatever, he's using the drones to take out the guards to the pocket dimension portal, and they put on the I couldn't even look at the screen. Okay, you're going to do CGI, and he's kicking everyone's ass, and there's no stakes because the music's silly, and the music's going to make me feel emotional, and it's fun. No. Man, I don't know how different my life would have been had my father bought a NES. I didn't have that. He bought the Genesis. This is where shit got real. Like, the thing is, right, the people talk about Genesis and SNES, and the marketing really got to me as an English boy for Genesis, for Mega Drive. But the SNES was so much better than the Mega Drive. Like, it was really great hardware. It just looked so much better and more colorful. The sound was quite distinct like the Mega Drive, but the sound was better overall. The Genesis had more interesting textures and stuff, and edge because it was FM synthesis based on the Yamaha DX7 analog synthesizer.
No, the dog stuff could have been so good. I'm an actual James Gunn fan, and I know he absolutely loves his dog, and all those subtle bits with the dog felt like actual cinema.
So you asked me about tentacles yesterday. So is that a thing, that there's always tentacles in his movies? Because there was a bunch of tentacles, right? When he goes to save the dog. I couldn't mention that. The shrivel guy, he suddenly has tentacles and he's pulling. So again, it's like he's not in a plasma rainbow blah-de-blah with a blah-de-blah black hole and the magic tentacle. It's a guy fell in the lake and there's a waterfall. He's going to fall off and someone holds out a stick. That's the tentacle. That's all it is. That's what it's representing. But he just puts all these colors and just LSD shit all over it, and it's that doesn't make it good. Turbo graphics. Apparently that was shit hot. Was that more powerful than these? Atari 7800. Oh my god, mate, do you remember this generation, mate? Saturn was kind of shit, but I loved it because I loved Sega. PS1, mind-blowing. Ridge Racer launch title. N64, Mario 64 launch title. Fuck off, mate. Atari Jaguar, absolute. That was a mega flop. GameCube. See, like, this is where it started to get dull, was Generation 7. But Xbox was incredible. Launch title, Halo. Like, new company, let's make a good game, a new killer app that's going to launch my console. Like, you couldn't have done it better with amazing graphics as well. Now a new console comes out. Everything's cross-platform. The graphics have plateaued. And it's just a fucking sequel. Like, mate, Microsoft threw it away. And what did you do? You DEI-ified your whole company, and now like your head of Halo is a Marxist, and it's political.
Arthur Shaw says, Duck Station Supremacy.
Bro, so I man, this book I'm reading is so good. It's by Decutter. It's about, he's done 3 books: Chinese Revolution, Cultural Revolution, and The Great Famine. I bought it by mistake, actually. I thought it was a Cultural Revolution book, but I'm happy I brought it because it has the undergirding of the Cultural Revolution. It just tells you what happens when you try to execute Marxism. So fucking fascinating. So what he said was, in the beginning when the communists took over, the whole premise is like everyone's oppressed and we have to get rid of the oppressors. So that means all of the peasants and non-professionals and people who hadn't worked a day in their life, who were promised to get free stuff, were allowed to take over like the financial industry in Shanghai. Like, Shanghai is one of the economic jewels of the world. It had like the longest bar in the world in this club and all this kind of stuff, and it was cool cabaret and financial center, loads of banks and stuff. The communists suddenly took over everything. There were 500 banks, 400 of them shut down, and then basically 80 to 90% of all industry shut down. Whether it's just basic stuff like shopping malls and, you know, groceries and all these kind of things, it shut down because they were now being run by people who were ideologically driven, who didn't know about how to produce and didn't know about business and weren't intellectuals. The intellectuals had all been stigmatized because someone's IQ is analogous to their productivity. And so if they're producing a lot, it's because they stole shit. So that's the pretext to mobilize like the peasantry and like the working classes to get angry and go and steal their shit. So now you can't go back on that premise. So all the communists take over these positions because it's all about power and takeover. And then when they're in there, the book says everyone's filled with doubt and guilt, because if you question the communists, even though they're bankrupting society, you have to doubt yourself. Otherwise, you're going to basically be attacked and literally publicly shamed in the struggle session. So all the communists take over all this stuff and then they basically run it into the ground. And the same things happens like with video games and movies and stuff. Now it's like all filled with these Marxists, and they're there because like of the white privilege, like we have to take over. These people are exploiting. But then once they get in, they actually don't know what the fuck they're doing. You see these patterns repeat over and over again, and it's completely fucking insane. You see it now like at Xbox and Microsoft. No one's going to doubt like the new communist leader. You're going to doubt yourself by talking to them. It's like before it was just a bunch of lads who ended up there not because of oppression, but because lads just kind of like that stuff. The male Halo development team got them all out just because they want to take over it. And now like you can't get rid of them because you're filled with guilt. Like it's all that, dude, it's just repeating itself. And the crazy thing is AOC, she came out in the last 3 months. I really want to bookmark this footage where she praised Mao and she's talking like good things about Mao essentially. And she's like, I'm a Maoist, she actually said it. And then Zamdami, whatever his name is, he's exactly the same but worse. You've actually got like founder of BLM, co-founder Patrisse Cullors praising Mao's Little Red Book. These people literally want to execute exactly what the communists did, which destroyed Soviet Russia and China. It's fucking insane, bruv. And like people can't see the patterns.
Milkitio makes things says question. After you've obtained all this knowledge about power and takeover, are you going to be able to recite this in 5 years?
Yes. Yes, this stuff is super fascinating to me. I reread it again and again, and I write notes about it. Let's see if I can find it. See, where the fuck is it? Like, I could read you shit from this book that will blow your fucking mind. I mean, if you want to understand what is going to happen if wokeness completely takes up, like if people, the funny thing about wokeness is, right, wokeness is just Marxism, and it's neo-Marxism, but it's still Marxism. It all leads to the same thing. It's just like parasitical, and it's theft. Like, it steals from productive people, and under the pretense that those people actually just stole it from someone else, but they didn't. They produced it, and then it terminates society.
This stuff, the knowledge is there, but the
if you want to see where it's going, if you want to see like why things are so fucked up, read this book. Like, it will literally explain exactly why things are the way that they are. The funny thing is, back in these times, right, when you steal shit from people and then you give it to people who don't understand how to maintain it at the very least, or make it at the worst, then you're basically gonna tank society. You invariably. It's so fucking fascinating. So I lose my train of thought. What was I saying? If you, I can't remember. It'll come back to me. But anyways, it's all in this book. It's all in this book about what is going to happen. And I remember what I was going to say. It only works. They're only able to try to enforce it because they won't allow people to leave. So they turn all of the people who are now in this destroyed economy into slaves to keep it going. Because without slavery, because in the beginning they increased taxes on the regular people who they said that were actually going to get the money in order to make up for the deficit that they've caused by taking over industries they don't understand to run and centralizing it. And then when you can't tax people anymore because the companies are gone that those people should be working for, who are now being taxed more, then you get complete societal breakdown. So you need to force people into slavery and labor camps in order to keep it going. That only works if people can't leave. But now, like, you can leave California and you can leave New York and you can leave America. So it's actually destined to fail. It simply cannot work. But the fucked up thing is, and it's kind of touched upon in this book, and it's well known, that you can't go back from socialism. So even though people can leave, and let's say Zamdak, whatever his name is, that socialist takes over New York as mayor or whatever and tanks it. Okay, some people are saying, well, let's just see what happens and then it'll be a lesson to the world and then we'll just fix it. But it seems to be that you actually can't go back once you've gone to socialism. Because think about it, right? For America to become the country that it is, it took hundreds of years of graft and you know, back-breaking hard work, blood, sweat and tears to build it all, in the same way you build like a big like building or something. And then socialism will tear it down in an instant, in the same way fire can tear down a building in an instant. And then you can't bring it back. Like, Russia never recovered from communism. China never recovered from communism. Sweden was one of the top economies in the world, and they tried socialism in the 50s. And I read some mad stat that it wasn't until 2 years ago, like more than 50, 60, 70 years later, that they finally actually, there was some net gain that hadn't been achieved since they instilled socialism. So you basically can never ever come back from it. So if they do actually manage to get their way in New York, like, how are you going to go back from that? It's already fucked. People are already on the government drip. It's already in an exponential downward spiral financially. You know, rent prices, all those kind of things. You're going to have more centralization. You're going to have centralization of food with the new mayor and rent prices. And that's what AOC wants to do. Definitely the new guys are going to do that. There's basically no way back from that. And then if you have this huge underclass, which is what it creates, you can't like repatriate or move or fix. And then people haven't developed and learned to, like, you know, generate on their own. They're constantly dependent. There's basically no way back from it. That's the fucked up thing. That's why we have to fight so hard to stop it from happening.
Fire doesn't tear down buildings in an instant. Just Christmas trees, that's an American fact.
Merry Christmas! You're trying to get me hyped for Christmas. Whole lot of mercy. So, fuck, I don't know. I need to check my phone. I need to see what's happening. Oh, fuck. I need to see what's happening. Something's happening. Don't be bad, please. such a warrior. It's like even the smallest thing, like something bad's gonna happen. Okay, hold on. Friend of mine's called me. Shit, I hope he's okay. Hello, mate. Just calling to see how you are. Just calling to see how you are. Are you okay? Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm doing YouTube. Yeah, actually right now I'm live. Yeah. Anytime. So that's why I was calling. What time do you want to meet? Okay. Okay. So when are you free? What time are you free? Basically meat, but no sauce. Just meat. Pure. Like for example, yakiniku sauce with sugar, just salt and meat, basically. Any meat, so like beef, chicken, pork, yeah, but no marinade, no. Eat what? Lobster? If the meat has a marinade, like a sweet marinade. Yeah. I can eat it. Yeah. Oh, really? Cool. What time? Okay, nice. Okay, see you then. Thank you. Cool. Thanks so much. See ya. Bye. So funny. It's a client of mine. He's loaded.
Lobster time for the Jordan Peterson impression. Edward Johnston says 10/10 content.
Really? Why? Is it what's real? So that's like a client of mine. I helped him out with some business consultancy, and he's fucking loaded. And he does like a lot of training, does like ultra marathons, and he's basically in the restaurant industry, so he's like always eating. So every time he comes back to Tokyo, he's like, right, I'm gonna just eat some food. I was like, okay. He just like pays for everything because he's fucking loaded. So he's just asking me like, what do you want to eat? And he said like, I said meat, like no sauce, as you heard. And he suggested Korean barbecue. So apparently it's near where I live. I didn't even fucking know there was one. So I'm gonna do that about 6 o'clock. It's 3:15 now. So I need to check something else as well. 10 out of 10 content. You're gonna be taking the piss. You're taking a piss, mate. Come on, Edward. You know you want to be a massacre mate. I think actually you said recently it's like it was a bit, times are a bit tight. I understand if that's the case, obviously. I need to check something. Whole lot of mercy. I'm going to read you some of this book on like Mao's takeover of China, because as I said, it is absolutely insane. So you got to read it. It's the book just flows so well. History books can sometimes be a bit of a drag because there's so much info, so many numbers, and so many names all together. It's like a big memory test. But this book is the bomb. Yeah. Let me read you some. Because it really is that good. Yeah, come on, you lot. You got to get this book. Right. I take notes, dude. Are you proud of me? Bro. You want to hear some info about Marxism? This book is out of control good. It's called The Tragedy of Liberation. Chinese Revolution from 1949. Okay, right. So all the peasants were promised money, and everyone was promised liberation from the exploitative capitalist landowners and shit like that. This is some of the shit that happened in real life. So it's funny. There's liberation, there's celebrations, and there's a lot of optics created by the communists, and there's drums played and banners and all these public rallies and stuff. And everyone thought, yay, like we're going to live in this utopia. This is what really fucking happened. So summary were the decision. So people got relocated to labor camps, including old people and disabled people. Sent to Mongolia to sort shit out over there. So summary were the decisions made about relocation that in one case, 87 individuals, all classified as elderly or invalidated, were sent to Ningxia to reclaim wasteland. This is the reality, right? Nobody's going to work for free. No one's going to do it. So you have to force people to do it indiscriminately. Many of those who arrived in the Northwest were forced to live in holes in the ground, right? This is the utopia, bro. And made to do hard labor all day long, leveling sand dunes, planting trees and digging irrigation ditches. Someone's got to do it. And since you've tanked the economy and no one gets paid any more than anyone else, you have to force people to do it. One woman remembered how she was lured to the region with tales of hot water and electricity in every house. It's like tales of pay off your student loan and like free money and like universal basic income. Don't be stupid, people. After she and other migrants arrived, they were told, comrades, you must prepare to bury your bones in Xinjiang. This is where it goes, bruh. The situation was compounded by steady increases in unemployment in the first couple of years of the takeover, notwithstanding extravagant promises made to workers during the heady days of liberation, when they were heralded as masters of the country, ready to take charge, right? You see this now, but it's a race thing. It's like this race is like the masters. They built the country. Like they're going to take, okay, this is what's going to happen. And then after that, once they do the dirty work for the people who want the power, they are the first ones to get absolutely murked. Entrepreneurs and industrialists, on the other hand, were also deceived by the new regime's rhetoric of inclusion in the name of new democracy. All right. Thousands of students were mobilized to harangue the population against hoarding silver dollars. 100 years ago, same shit. They used the energy of the students, who are basically kids, but now are strong enough to hurt people, in order to carry out the bidding. You see this, right? It's with the Palestine. Exactly the same shit now. Giant trading corporations controlled raw materials, severely circumscribing the scope of private enterprise. Right? Electric vehicle mandates, like rare earth, like green energy quotas, like carbon footprint, all of this. Giant state trading corporations controlled raw minerals. You see where this is going, right? But the communists were firmly set against all recourse to foreign capital, symbol of imperialist exploitation, and without adequate capital, everything soon ground to a halt. Instead of receiving the material incentives promised by the party, workers were exhorted to produce more, right? So you, like in America, they raise the minimum wage and then companies start to go bankrupt, and so then they have to fire staff. So that means the people who were there have to work harder to make this. This is what happens with socialism every time. But workers, ironically, were the most restive group among the population, hoping to stand at the forefront of the revolution. They demanded increased wages and better working conditions. They became so vocal that the communists introduced a new labor decree making strikes illegal. Their employers, on the other hand, protested that under the new slogan of New Democracy, they had been promised protection and assured they could continue to run their enterprises on a private basis. But soon they were compelled to accept wage increases. Where have you heard? This is what's happening now in California, that vastly inflated the cost of labor on their balance sheets. What happens next when you increase wages like they're doing in California? Heavy, variable, and unpredictable taxes on everyone followed. This is what's happening in California right now, as the regime was desperate for cash. So that's why they say billionaires are bad, because they need to steal more money to prop up this BS. Within the first year of liberation, the people of Beijing were asked to hand over the equivalent of 53,000 tons of millet. Everyone complained, from small shopkeepers driven out of business to ordinary workers unable to feed their families. Right, businesses leave. Again, see NYC and Cali. A 120% tax had ruined the tobacco industry. The cadres themselves were part of the problem. They were attuned to the rigors of guerrilla warfare rather to the intricacies of international banking and finance that were the daily routine in Shanghai. So that's basically DEI taking over all this shit. Why do you think the video games companies don't work? Because, like in the Chinese Revolution, they're more used to the rigors of guerrilla warfare, and that's today it's like a cultural guerrilla warfare, than the intricacies of running a company. The metropolis was half as big again as Moscow, with a larger foreign population than any other city except New York. Before liberation, it had more foreign investment than London or Paris. This is Shanghai. They checked every blah, blah, blah. And then, at first, the cadres allowed the city to continue to operate independently as far as possible, but soon the very distance they cultivated from the people became a problem. So you have the Marxists who take over, and they kind of let the original company, let's say Microsoft and Halo creators, they let them operate normally, but then they start interfering. They checked every bit of advice they were given for fear of error. Like, I'm racist. Like, is it DEI compliant? Is it culturally sensitive? And in any event, lacked the required financial expertise to evaluate the matters brought to their attention. So this is what happens when Marxists take over industry. They were reticent, reserved, remote. They were unreasonably cautious and suspicious and would not mix with the people. They were not gregarious, neither were they open and communicative. They were oddly correct in their official dealings. They were coldly correct in their official dealings, but did not want to be enlightened on the problems they were confronted with, even refusing to discuss the problems. They would brook no interference and encourage no suggestion. A word of counsel was considered meddling, an offer of help, officiousness. Everybody was under a stigma of doubt, of guilt. Does that remind you of anything? So imagine the modern video game company. Everyone's like full of guilt. Everyone's of doubt. If you raise a question like, you're hiring all these like women to take over to make up numbers, but these people maybe don't have a history of games, that would be seen as officiousness, as like an affront to authority. It would be seen as meddling. So everyone just like feels guilty, right? They're privileged, check your privilege, and doubts. Like, I shouldn't say this because it could be wrong, because now these people are kind of taken over the DI departments. This has happened already, mate. This is in like 1949, 1950 in China. So what happens next? Bankruptcy. Cadres vented their hatred in consultation meetings with representatives of trade and industry that degenerated into struggle sessions where people were mocked, humiliated, and beaten. Soon nobody dared to say a word. Shaoxing, a beautiful city of gardens and canals, famed for its rice wine, was run as if the party was still fighting a guerrilla war. Within a matter of months, bustling Shanghai was a dying city. Months, that's all it took to destroy that. Tianjin slipped into slow decay. Guangzhou almost went bankrupt. Factories were idle, trade ceased. Many firms, small and big alike, were driven into the red. The high end of the luxury market suffered first. In the once thriving jewelry stores on Nanking Road in Shanghai, where gold ornaments competed for attention with finely wrought jade pieces, merchants started selling soap, DDT, medicines, towels, and underwear. Where 136 factories had once stood and made cosmetics, only 30 remained in operation, most of them producing toothpaste. In Shanghai's outdoor bazaar at Yuyuan Garden, where curios, crafts, and antiques were sold, dispirited merchants sat beside their stalls looking bored or perusing the papers. Other branches of industry followed. Hundreds of factories making paper, matches, rubber, and cotton textiles closed down. Temporary observers in Hong Kong estimated that about 4,000 concerns in Shanghai, including 2,000 commercial companies and 1,000 factories, went bankrupt. Of some 500 banks in the city, fewer than 100 were still open. And half of these petitioned the government for permission to wind up their operations. Many of the city's foreign-owned transit and power companies were forced to finance operational deficits by borrowing heavily from the People's Bank, placing them virtually in the hands of the government. So how scary is that? Once the government's forced socialist policies bankrupt all businesses, the businesses have to take out government loans, which then puts them in control of the government. So socialism purposefully destroys everything to take over it. And that is in the core of Marxism. Bloody revolution, destroy it, tear it all down. It's like a limb, if you will, of the body politic of Marxism. It's designed to destroy, and when they destroy it, they can take over it. So, yeah, Zamdami, whatever his fucking name is, he's going to destroy New York. He's going to bankrupt everyone. But who's in control at the end? The socialists are. And if there's no industry and private enterprise, the only person who can fix it is the government. It's so fucking dangerous what New York is playing with right now. Shopping centers in most big cities now seemed lifeless and deserted. Observed one trader in Shanghai. Between the Bund and the Park Hotel, the windows of all stores, including the big proud ones like Wing On, Sincere, Sun, and The Sun, are plastered with posters which shout, "We reduce prices with pain. Shop closing down. Prices falling below cost." In Wuhan, the inland port once called the Chicago of the East, more than 500 shops went bust, while hundreds of factories closed their doors. In Wuxi, the industrial city north of Shanghai, where steam whistles, electric sirens, and hooters had once competed for attention, silence prevailed as hundreds of shops were boarded up. In Songjiang, only one of the 18 cotton mills that made the reputation of the town managed to remain in business. Unemployment rocketed. By December 1949, Beijing had 54,000 unemployed people in a population of 2 million. A report compiled by the party itself, the Communist Party, deplored incessant cases of suicide and the sale of children due to joblessness among 150,000 people. In South China too, many of the unemployed sold their children or killed themselves. Some starved to death. There was a lot of unrest during that time against the Communist Party. You might not have known that. A lot of protests and stuff like that, where ordinary people petitioned the government and tore down posters of Mao Zedong. This is fucking nuts. People were told to practice thrift and frugality. Production was extolled, consumption denounced. Ideological purity went hand in hand with economic decline to transform once bustling metropoles into drab zones of conformity. Within months of revolution, the pursuit of pleasure was frowned upon as a sign of bourgeois frivolity. In Shanghai, as elsewhere, cafes and dance halls were closed down. No more raves, bruv. Clandestine gambling casinos broke up without police intervention. The hotels that had once sealed the city's world-class reputation, such as the Cathay, renamed Peace Hotel, the Palace Hotel, and the Park Hotel, had so few guests that some of them offered monthly rates of $25 to $50 monthly. The Shanghai Club, reputedly boasting the longest bar in the world, attracted few customers. Even tea rooms closed their doors. The racecourse at Nanking Road became a military barracks. Nightlife was negligible, as shops were shuttered at 6 in the evening and clubs a few hours later. Those who ventured out at night were accosted by young communists demanding to see residence certificates and other papers. So even if you did make it outside for a night on the fucking tailors, mate, to have some fun after everything is shut down, there are these young, well-to-do communists who'll say, papers, please, because everyone's living in a climate of fear. The government encouraged snitching in order to completely dominate control and move the momentum of control from themselves to the people to carry out their orders for them. That's best done by making everyone snitch on each other and report wrongdoers. So then you have to start snitching to prove your allegiance to the regime and also for a reward. So I mean, fuck, man. It will spiral so quickly once socialism takes hold on the West. New York and California, I'm looking at you. Very, very sad. Fewer rickshaws, buses and pedicabs were seen on the streets. Cars were mostly official, as the cost of petrol became prohibitive. Thousands of vehicles vanished from the streets every month. Everywhere socialism is tried, this happens. Venezuela, Cuba, take your pick. Do you know what's going to come next in New York? Check this out. English was no longer the language of international business, but a manifestation of imperialist exploitation. I'm telling you, that's what's coming. English and French plaques in public places and gardens were taken down. Remind you of anything, New York? The pressure extended to cinemas and eating places where foreign names became taboo. In the erstwhile French concession of Shanghai, streets and boulevards were renamed for the most part after local cities and provinces rather than priests, dignitaries, consuls and writers from France. Sound familiar? Everywhere the hammer and sickle of the Red Star went up. They could be seen on trams, buildings, banners and flags. That is now just LGBTQ flag. That's what it is. That's what it's become. Paintings of Chinese and Soviet leaders were hung prominently in public places. Okay, it's like Black Lives Matter figures in that case. In bookshops, or like LGBTQ figures. In railway stations. You see it everywhere in the UK. You see it all over the place. In factories, schools and offices. On the gateway to the Forbidden City. Mate, this is what happened in China. Does it sound familiar? Rather than imposing censorship from above, the authorities relied on self-censorship. How did I get my YouTube channel remonetized? Had to self-censor. Which was surprisingly effective once journalists and editors had gone through re-education. As one journalist noted, a party hack nudged them in the right direction. The slightest mistake calls down a rebuke. And in each editorial office, a few trusty communists inspect all copy. DEI departments! Fucking hell. Scary, isn't it? The result was absolute conformity. As one student of propaganda noted at the time, the communist newspaper propaganda technique might be described as the sledgehammer type. There's very little subtlety involved. Good and bad, friend and foe are defined in terms of black and white. Everything is reduced to simple slogans or formulae. And all channels, the radio as well as the press, concentrate simultaneously on pounding them in. It's fucking mental. And the crazy thing is, right, it's not black and white. Because in the beginning with communism, nobody really understood it. So the nationalists who in the end ended up losing to the communists, before they really fell out with the communists, they were collaborating with the Soviet communists already. So Russian advisors accompanied the nationalist army as Chiang Kai-shek, leader of the nationalists at this stage, this is in like early 20s, 1921, was still collaborating closely with Stalin in Mao's home province of Hunan. The nationalist authorities followed Russian instructions in funding peasant associations and fomenting a Soviet-style revolution. Social order broke down. So the nationalists, who were the anti-communists, before they really got into a battle with communists and people worked out what the fuck communism was, were already collaborating with Russian communists to create social unrest. And like right from the beginning, any manifestation of Marxism is about breaking down social order, and it's about revolution and about unrest. Like you can listen to all the rhetoric and all the intellectualizing and like quasi-intellectual like masturbation you want and get caught up in the semantics of it and etymology, but just look at the results and what happens. Anywhere there is socialism, anywhere there is Marxism, you have social order breaking down. You have New York streets, you have Californian streets, you have London streets, you have homeless, you have drugs, you have hatred, you have division. That is the inexorable result of Marxism every single time, now known today as wokeness. There you go. So this book, if you want to understand what's going on with wokeness, it's fucking in here, bruv. This is like the blueprint for what the progressives have for the West. The Tragedy of Liberation by Frank de Kürter.
Edward Johnston says Animal Farm is so clever. Milkitio makes things says Lmayo Animal Farm is one of my husband's favorite books and my kids have already seen 3 adaptations. Edward Johnston says, I've heard there was cannibalism too : Milkitio makes things says in China hella they ate their kids. Because Mao declared sparrows a state enemy but sparrows ate locust then the locust ate all the food the end.
Oh no. A tentacle's a main thing in James Gunn movies, Milky. Why did you ask me that yesterday? Consoles. Look, N64, mate. I remember listening to Bittersweet Symphony. No. Yeah. By The Verve with my brother playing Mario Kart. I loved the graphics on that. They were better than PlayStation and Saturn. They were very blurry, but Mario 64, Golden Knight, mate, come on. Even Turok, yeah, let's go. Mario Kart, absolute sick game. Ridge Racer on the PS1, mate. GameCube, I don't know, wasn't quite as hyped for that, but looked great at the time. Dreamcast, Orgasmatron, everything, bruv. Sega Rally 2, why wasn't it 60 frames per second? Virtua Fighter 3, great launch title, nearly arcade perfect. It's like having an arcade at home. Power Stone, all that. Okay.
Edward Johnston says Johnny trying to stay monetized, haha.
How am I doing that?
Says, I enjoyed that more than I expected. You could do audiobooks, bruv.
You're welcome, Chris. You're welcome. You're welcome. The more to come, my man. How you doing, Chris? Mate, Xbox, Halo, Jesus. So this whole rant came from this, because Xbox has now been taken over by the Marxists. You see that their new kind of main producer, it's like it's a proper, you know what it is, and so it's going to destroy this industry. It's going to try to redistribute. It's a parasite. Literally, the best ever analogy for wokeness is a face hugger. It comes along and it finds like a healthy host. It kills the host, and then it creates some, like, it's a parasite, feeds off the host and everything that they've ever done to get to where they are today. And then it kills that host and makes something new that like looks like the host, but it's like a horrible distortion of it. And that's used to go around and further its aims and continue. It's a face hugger. It's a parasite. And now that's on Microsoft. It's amazing how much damage. And like I said, you can't really go back. Like, you're going to destroy all of that. How are you going to put that back together? It's like once the face hugger's on and the egg's in, it's like you can't get rid of it, bruv. It's over. It's basically over. So crazy stuff, bro. All of this, man, never really got into the Wii that much. Xbox 360 was cool. That is when things started to plateau. I remember getting that for Christmas. Call of Duty, it looked really good, but it kind of just looked like a high-end PC, and it started to plateau from here. Dreamcast and then Xbox was the last great graphical jump. PS2 was kind of cool, but it wasn't really the jump I thought it would be. And then here we start to plateau. Here we really start to plateau with PS4, and then yeah, same deal, bro. Yeah, it's a parasite. It is because it comes along and steals from people who've made stuff. Like a parasite will come along and like take something. It doesn't add. It only destroys and takes from what's already there. And then when it's taken everything, it has to destroy and take more to keep going. So there you go.
Milkitio Makes Things says, my mom once told me the Game Gear graphics were better than my Game Boy SP graphics. LMAO.
Don't think that's true.
Johnston says never should have let the infected back on the Nostromo.
You shouldn't have done that. This book is fucking awesome. China, an Endless Well. This was made like 2,000 years ago. China was basically their first history. The first Chinese were recorded something like 2,300 BC. So this is as old as time, and it's as relevant now as it obviously was then. Strategy for power. Not even that. It's like, it's how to... What is this? The art of war. It's about strategy, and it's about dynamics. That's what it is. Strategy and dynamics. How to win. Love this very much. Super great. Super great, mate. So, are we playing video games? Are we doing that? I think. Are we going to play video games? We might.
Milkitio Makes Things says she was right, but also wrong because the screen was so tiny I couldn't believe it when I finally held a Game Gear.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I think we might. The thing, we probably should play a game, but I'm afraid to play Night Rain on single player just because it's so not designed for that.
Edward Johnston says play video games. Milkitio Makes Things says what video game?
It should be on a separate stream though, right? Shouldn't it? It should be.
Brad W says, that sounds good.
Really? Okay. I mean, I don't have enough time to really give Silent Hill a good run. Alien Isolation could be good. Let's just do Bloodborne. Let's just go for the Bloodborne last. No, but we can't kill the last boss because we have to do the DLC.
Try the Alien Isolation game. Milkitio Makes Ting says if you download Monster Hunter Wilds I'll play with Yahoo lol.
Oh really?
Edward Johnston says, I love that game, Chris.
Could do what? The thing is, like, we can't start more than 3 games. So we need a 2D game that we're just going to go through. And it should be like an RPG. Do you know, I actually kind of want to go back and play The Witcher, because looking at that, it's such an old RPG with the bread and the turkey on the table and the grapes and the... I think I might have to go back for that. So we should start a 2D game. We should start a 2D game that we're going to play when we want to play 2D games. So let's do that, shall we? Okay.
Milkitio Makes Ting says Alien Isolation is fun.
Liar. So here we go. So this is how we're going to do it, y'all. This is how we are going to do things. So we're going to go now onto a gaming stream, but we're going to set up the gaming stream in the beginning, which we have to do, and that footage will become extra for members only, essentially. So when I start it, I can put it members only. Then when the stream starts, members only goes off, and then you can go into it, and then it becomes members only again at the end. When the stream's on, like everyone can watch it from the gaming, that will get mirrored gaming stream only on the gaming channel. So members get to always access that extended gaming stream later. Does that make sense? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. What's up, laughing man? Good to see you, mate. It's like a 2D Souls-like Metroidvania. You can have the code. Can I? I've got all these Steam games that I'm never using. Like everyone, Steam people are so generous. Like, I mean, maybe I should do that. I wouldn't say no. Could do it. But I think we've got to do 2D games. So I'll set up a gaming stream now. And then like we'll all go on over there. And then you'll get the intro. Like this is a taster of what members will get. I'll give it to you for free for now, but the intro and outro is going to be... Basically, the intro and outro and the gaming stream is only available to members, but anyone can watch the gaming stream, which is on the gaming stream. But then when I'm doing it live, anyone can watch it. It's only when it ends, then people can't watch it, so you can watch it for free, and then you're not going to want to watch it again. But then I could be a real bastard and make it members only to watch while I'm doing the intro, then turn that off when we play it, and then make it members only at the end for the outro, and then make the whole thing members only when it finishes, while mirroring it on the gaming stream where anyone can watch it. I don't fucking know. I need a what do you call it? A woman. I need a woman. I need a, what do I need? I need an assistant. Okay, gaming stream. Okay, we'll pick the stream. Okay, so here's the other thing is like members get to vote on shit, bruv. Can I? But the thing, I have to do that on the page with the post. It's also complicated. Start a poll. Okay. No, wait. We'll do this in a second. Hold on a minute. Okay, wait. Pick the game.
Edward Johnston says a bouncer to check people's ID and membership status. Chris Campbell says members only at the beginning sounds like a view count killer.
Right, but so what it needs to be is members only can comment, which is kind of what it is, but moderators get through that anyways. That's why you're able to comment without being a member, and Edward as well. But I had to take that off at some point. But then like the original members should just always stay members. Like I can't make you guys, like it feels wrong. It feels wrong. So okay, well now I've got nothing to sell because I've just given it away. But really, like, you should all stay on. But I think the thing is like, look, you can just watch it all for free. But then if you miss it, or if you want to rewatch it, at the end it goes to members only, essentially. And then you can watch it on the gaming stream if you want, but it doesn't have the intro and outro. The intro and outro is the only people going to watch that is people who like really like the channel anyway. So that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Edward Johnston says you can kick me out for the intro bit.
No, we can't kick you out because like you basically made the fucking stream what it is. It's like, see you later, motherfuckers. That's a bit cynical. Can't do that.
Chris Campbell says some members are more equal than others, lol.
Exactly. That's definitely true. I'm setting up the stream. I need a thumb. I need like a default thumbnail for this. Okay, I'm just gonna. I don't know. I must have a default thumbnail somewhere.
Milkitio makes things says 4 legs good, 2 legs better.
Isn't this Hobbit? Matt. I don't know. I've got these old thumbnails, just trying to find anything that's a little bit appropriate, but they're all a little bit weird. Okay, I just use Vesemir. It's not right, but I'll do it.
Edward Johnston says Silent Hill. Milkitio makes things says boy, have you played the Hobbit game for the GameCube and or PlayStation?
No.
Edward Johnston says is it good, Milky?
Always good, Milky. Okay. Right, we're doing the redirect. Fucking hell. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream and it's going to redirect you to the gaming stream. So let us do it. Thanks for watching Cheeky Live stream number 155. Hope you enjoyed it. So now we're going to go over to the Keystone Kitchen. And we're going to have, you're in the pub, right? This is the pub with mad British vibes, right? The soul of the channel where we all just get together, hang out, have a chat. Now's going to be a lock-in, right? Lock-in, MassacreMates only, and pub lunch, bruv. Come on, mate, let's do it. Mate, the Laughing Man became a member. MassacreMate, big up, Laughing Man. Oh, my Lord. Mate, Laughing Man, you get the emojis, bruv. Flex them emojis. Thank you so much for becoming a MassacreMate. Really appreciate it. See you on the gaming stream. Rock Hard Gaming. Is that what we're calling it?